They were the richest empire the world had ever seen. Gold flowed like rivers. Mountains glittered with silver. Their cities stretched through the clouds, and in less than 2 years, it was all gone. The Inca Empire didn't just fall, it was erased. How could the most advanced civilization in the Americas, an empire of millions, collapse to a few hundred foreigners armed with steel and greed? This is the story of power, betrayal, and the moment when the gods of the Andes fell silent. Picture this, it's the early 1500s. The Inca Empire rules from the Pacific coast to the Amazon jungle, from modern-day Ecuador to Chile. A civilization of more than 10 million people runs like clockwork. No money, no wheels, no written language. Yet their system works better than most kingdoms in Europe. Roads carved through mountains, terraces turning cliffs into farmland, cities built from stone so perfectly cut, not even a knife blade could slide between them. And at the heart of it all, Cusco, the navel of the world, the Sapa Inca, ruler of the empire, was more than a king. He was the living son of the sun. His word was divine law, his empire untouchable, until one day the sun turned its face away. It begins with disease. Before the Spaniards ever set foot in the Andes, invisible killers had already arrived, smallpox, brought by earlier European contact in the north. It swept through the empire like fire through dry grass, millions dead, entire villages gone. And the worst blow? The emperor himself, Huayna Capac, killed by the sickness. The empire was suddenly leaderless. 2 princes, his sons, fought to claim the throne. Atahualpa in the north, Huáscar in the south, brother against brother. The empire split in 2. For years, the Inca tore themselves apart. The blood of their own warriors stained the roads they had built. And then, just as Atahualpa seized victory, fate arrived. March 1532. A small group of strange men climbs the Andes. About 180 Spaniards, led by one name history would never forget, Francisco Pizarro. They come seeking one thing, gold, but they find something else entirely, a world so powerful, so alien, it shocks them silent. Pizarro learns of Atahualpa, fresh from defeating his brother, celebrated by thousands, resting in the city of Cajamarca. The Spaniards approach, carrying their strange weapons, their horses, and a priest. The priest hands Atahualpa a Bible and demands he submit to the King of Spain and the Christian God. Atahualpa looks at it, puzzled. He's never seen a book before. He lifts it to his ear, nothing, and then he throws it to the ground. That one act sealed his fate. Pizarro gives the signal. The cannons roar, the horses charge, gunfire tears through the air. The Incas, tens of thousands, are caught unarmed, unprepared, believing it was a meeting of peace. In minutes, thousands are slaughtered. Atahualpa, the living son of the sun, is captured. The god has fallen into mortal hands. But Pizarro doesn't kill him, at least not yet. He knows the power of gold. He makes a deal. Atahualpa promises to fill a room with gold. Literally, a chamber 22 feet long, 17 feet wide, 9 feet high, filled to the top with gold and silver, melted down from the treasures of the empire. It takes months. Every city, every temple sends its riches. But when the room is finally full, Pizarro lies. He kills Atahualpa anyway, garroted in the dark, the last true Inca emperor strangled by steel. After his death, the empire doesn't collapse immediately, it shatters. Some cities surrender, others resist fiercely. The Spaniards march through the Andes like locusts, burning, looting, enslaving. They take Cusco, the heart of the world. They build churches over temples, towns over sacred grounds. The sun god's temples are torn down, the golden idols melted, the bloodlines of the royal family hunted. The once great empire dissolves into fragments, rebel groups, local chiefs, mountain hideouts. But the fire doesn't die easily. One man refuses to surrender, Manco Inca, a young prince who escapes the chaos and builds a new capital deep in the jungle, Vilcabamba. For decades, the lost Inca Empire survives, raiding Spanish caravans, hiding sacred relics, keeping the dream of freedom alive. But in 1572, 40 years after Atahualpa's death, the Spanish return. They find Vilcabamba, they destroy it, and they execute the last Inca ruler, Tupac Amaru. With his death, the line of the emperors ends. The sun sets on the Andes forever, but here's where it gets haunting. The Inca Empire didn't really disappear. Its spirit lingered in the mountains, in the people, in the legends. The Quechua language, still spoken by millions. The terraces, still feeding villages. The roads, still crossing nations. The temples, still standing after earthquakes, after centuries. The empire may have fallen, but its bones still hold the sky. The fall of the Inca Empire wasn't just about conquest, it was about collision. Faith versus power, steel versus stone, greed versus glory. A clash so brutal it changed two worlds forever. The Spaniards came for gold. They left with a continent, but what they destroyed can never truly die. Because even now, 500 years later, when the sun rises over the Andes and light touches the stones of Machu Picchu, you can still feel it. The heartbeat of an empire that refused to be forgotten. The empire of the sun, the fall of the Inca Empire. Power built on faith, destroyed by greed, remembered forever.